Well, good afternoon, my YouTube friends. It's Margaret here from M.E.s Orchids, and I'm in the grow room, and it's absolutely sweltering. It's 79% humidity and it's 22 degrees centigrade. And this morning it wasn't very nice, but this afternoon it's warmed up. Keith's in the garden, and I've been watering all the orchids because it had given this next few days quite warm. Now the Phalaenopsis roots you're looking at here, there's a new growing tip, and I've just sprayed it less than 5 minutes ago, and you'll actually notice in there's probably not any reservoir of water at all. And this is the one. You might just bring it down here, and she's got 2 lovely blooms still left. Let's have a look. And I just called her Chantilly Bouquet. So she just fits back in here, and let's just manoeuvre her in so I don't trap any of those roots. Sorry about that, you're just out of there we go. And this one here just sits over there. There's a little space there, and her blooms just face forward. So she's been hydrated now. I actually won't give her any more water, not at this moment in time, because the humidity is very high, and she will be able to get moisture from the atmosphere in here. And the reason I'm not going to overwater them now is in that little terrarium there, you've noticed now I've put the little Pathiopedilum in there and the other little Cattleya. And this was one of the other ones, and I was so excited, wasn't I, because it had got new leaves. Well, when I looked this morning, and I thought, oh my goodness, what's happened there? Because I could see the leaves were dead. And then I poked inside, and that little pseudobulb there was rotten. So that's how it was packed. So from that I came to the conclusion that with the rise in the humidity, that sphagnum moss was wet. It was in there with the lid on. The days had gone a little bit warmer, so the humidity had increased, and because there wasn't the sufficient airflow in there, I've had the lid off this morning, but because there wasn't sufficient airflow in there, it has just rotted. So this is what you've got to be ever so careful about, is not having your orchids with enough airflow around them. They've got to have the airflow. They've got to have, I have the oscillating fan on, I've got the top fan on over there, and it's imperative. They've got to have air. Now I'm just going to move you one by one. I'm just sat down here. And so Chris from Australia had asked me about what I feed the orchids on. And I use this calcium here, and I also use this liquid mix here, and that's a NPK, this one, and this is the calcium one. Now I have a little box type container there, and I did fill that up last week to the top, and I didn't put too much of this in because it tells you how much to put in, and I didn't put a lot in, and I was absolutely amazed at how much the TDS and the pH was. So you've got to be very, very careful how much you introduce to feed them. I'm not an orchid grower that wants to exhibit my orchids, so I'm not after perfect growing orchids. that will bloom and look absolutely spectacular. I'm just a home grower. I enjoy the orchids I've got, and if they're healthy and they give me the odd bloom, I'm quite satisfied with that. So that's how I feed them. And if we go to this one now, this is one of the three sisters, and of course, like I said before, once you get marks on your leaves like this, it's permanent. There's nothing you can do, you just have to live with it. And so we live with it. We all have blemishes on our skin, so this one's no different. Now, you'll see this one's romping away now. It's got those roots in very active growth. This one was fed last week, and let me just see if it is this one, or if it is another one. Just bear with me a minute. It might be one of the other ones. So I want to show you. Now that's let's show you the roots on this one. Now, I don't think it's too heavy just to pull out. So if I can just see if I can bring her down here and show you this way, that's better, isn't it? And you'll see now new roots breaking out of the other roots. That's an active growing root there, and that one looks as though it's coming up. Maybe it's going to be an aerial root. That's another root. And let's just have a look round, see what we can see. The trouble is when they've got big leaves like this, I mean, I don't like really to disturb them. There we are, I've just lifted that up now. And that maybe that one I've shown you from the other side, that's got that root going to travel upwards. Now that's fully hydrated. I watered that, if we're Wednesday now, I must have watered that on Sunday. And there's no way that one is going to get any water at all until I check it at the weekend, because this one is fine. I must admit, I must wipe the leaves over because they do appreciate they're having the leaves wiped. So if I just put that one back there, push that one there, so I can bring this one. Now this is the original one, and she's got a new leaf growing there. Now, here we go. This is the one that I noticed this morning, and just tuck between there. Oh, I thought, goodness gracious, I've got a spike, but I don't think it's a spike. It hasn't got that little mitten effect, or it hasn't at the moment, so I'm assuming that it's just going to be a root. But there, it's got that nice growing tip there. And if we look round here, let me just have a look. If you remember at the very beginning, this had the two roots, which are those two, and they were actually up here. When I first started filming them, they were up here. And look how far down that they've gone now. Let me just turn around for you. So she's got that root there, she's got that growing root there, and this one is the one. She's quite heavy because this one's got decorative gravel. She's got a new root there coming out of that other root. Now, if I can pick her up, I think I have to do it this way. If I can pick her up, she's the one that's got the roots, and they're travelling all the way underneath. Now, I know that this one, because these are usually the roots that take up that water with this one, even though I do spray her along here. These are the two big main roots that seem to hydrate this particular orchid. And so at this moment in time, I won't water her. She'll wait here till the weekend, and then I'll check her at the weekend. Now, and at the moment, because I know I've already fed them, I won't be feeding, and I mean we're coming into, you know, with spring now, we're coming into very active growth, but I won't overfeed them. I'd rather them take in plenty of water, and I will feed them maybe once a month. I don't think there's any need to continually feed them. Now, this is one of my original ones that had crown rot before I knew what crown rot was. You can see there it's sending a new little root nubbing out, I think, there. So this is the cakey, that's the mother. Now let's have a look at these roots. See, that's an active one, that's a new one. That's an active one, that's branched out of that root. And let's have a look at this. Let's turn around. If we can see. There, she's got a growing tip there. And she's not got a reservoir at the bottom. But those roots there are hydrated enough. And I will check her again. See, she's got these little nubbins coming out. She's got that little nubbin coming out there. And I'll check her again at the weekend. I mean, the worst thing you can do is to actually overwater them. I mean, they will eventually die if you never watered them at all. I mean, it's like anything, isn't it? But when they're in active growth like this, they do need hydrating, but again, they don't need swamping. So that one sits over there. This is just that little one that I've not transferred this one over yet into that glass container. This has got some lovely active growing roots, and there we go. And let me have a look. You see, well, it's moist at the bottom like that. You can tell the difference. There's the dry bark at the top, and there's the moist bark at the bottom. So really, if I was to water that now, all that's going to happen is these top ones will get hydrated, but then the bottom ones are going to get saturated, and I don't really want that. So again, this one will probably wait until at least Saturday. Now, I'm going to put this one back now and bring this other. This is the other one of the three sisters. And look at the dust. Needs dusting. Let's just have a look. So she's healthy enough. I'll just turn around. She's in quite a large vase. And let's have a look at those roots. Let's just put it down a minute so I can hold this up so you can see. She's got that nice, that one there, that one there. She looks as though she's got a little nubbin coming out of that root over there. And like I say, they've all been fed. And this one has got, I don't know whether you can see it under there, she's got another little green, presumably root coming there. And she's very, very healthy. So this one won't get watered until the weekend because she's hydrated enough. Let's have a look at her around here. There. And even though we're going into a warm spell for this next few days, because I've got the humidifier going most of the day and the oscillating fan, Keith always checks the humidity, and he'll put the humidifier on if the humidity drops, and he'll also put the oscillating fan on for me. So the very last one I'm going to show you is this one. This is the one that I've not cut the inflorescences yet, and this is the one with a new leaf. And I'm always tempted to cut these, but then I think, like I've explained before, I think these can, when she's ready to abort them, she'll abort them herself, and if she decides to send out little secondary spikes, she'll send out a secondary spike. She's got new roots developing there. There's that one, there's that one. So this one, of all the ones that I put in here, this didn't have any, hasn't had any nubbins come, or new roots come from any of these yet, but she's sending those out from there. So this one has also accepted this, the way that I'm growing her in this method. You'll see down there it's hydrated, and this one won't get watered until the weekend. I mean, I grow my phalaenopsis in various ways. I grow them mounted, I grow them in decorative gravel. I've got one, the big one up there. I'll just stand up. I don't know whether it'll keep me in focus, but I'll just stand up and see whether it will. If I don't move too fast, maybe it'll keep me in focus. And that's that one. That's the other one, which I call one of the three sisters. Just bear with me a minute, I'm trying to manoeuvre. And that's the new leaf this time. And this is that inflorescence that if you remember, I knocked and I thought I'd damaged her completely. But no, she's sending out that inflorescence now, so that's one of the big white phals. And if I can tip you up there, that's the other one, and I don't know whether you can see there, her little flower spike. Looks as though it'll come out from there and arch over. So I'll gently bring you down, and then I'll do another video shortly to show you how some of the other phalaenopsis are faring, the ones that I've got in, that I've got mounted. So from me to you, take care, bye now.